Hello and welcome. I'm Anticio Duke, and I want to thank you for stopping by. For those of you who have been with me for this long, I want to thank you. Kudos to you. Cheers. And for those of you who are new, we talk about design, life, books, all kind of things to empower you in design with life in mind here on this channel. So thank you. Now, today's topic, we're actually going to talk about something that's really beneficial to the digital world, product design, software, websites, things of that nature, and ensure that everyone across the board, there's a universal acceptance of these products. We're talking about accessibility. Welcome. Today we're here in the home office, and this is where the magic happens, so to speak. So today we're talking about accessibility. And in the most broadest, simplest, more easy to digest terms, accessibility is basically the design process of enabling people with disabilities a better opportunity to utilize our products, our software, and our websites for that matter. People who have color blindness, people who are deaf, people with other viewing and accessibility concerns. When most people set out to actually build a product or an application, they focus on their targeted demographic, their users. And a lot of times they focus on able-bodied, universal individuals that don't really have disabilities that will allow them to engage with their product. There's a subset of the world, and it makes it a little bit difficult for them to navigate and interact with our products when we overlook them. And so accessibility is that process of inclusion, including everyone into the grand scheme of things to utilize products and services. I don't know why I keep belching right now. This is annoying. By factoring the difficulties in for those who have these disabilities to utilize your product, not only does it expand your user reach, it actually allows for people to associate a different type of brand equity with your product and service. It translates a little differently when you start to include those individuals inside your process and cater to them. Now, there's a few companies that are out here doing this, and it is safe to say they're doing a magnificent job. There also have been a lot of lawsuits that have surfaced for different companies, products and services that haven't taken the time to include people into how they've built their products, okay? There have been numerous accounts that they have been overlooked. In terms of references, I'll throw a few links and include them so you can get an idea of what some people have been doing in their products and what others have been doing in their services to actually promote this inclusion for accessibility. I'm an avid user of the project management tool Trello, and I want to show you an example of what I mean by adding or including accessibility things in your products to make it useful for those users who have these disabilities, right? So for a moment, jump in here into my actual mobile device. This is an iPhone, so we'll do something really quick just so you can see and get an idea of what I mean by accessibility. So jumping into a quick Trello board that I've made and created. And this particular board, it has everything to do with product terms. I'm an avid user, so I live and die by this. I have a backlog doing pending, things are being in review, things that are done, and reference material. That's kind of how I set simple boards up. If you'd like me to do a tutorial of how I actually set these things up and from a holistic project perspective, leave a comment below, let me know, I'll tackle it. But in this example, a few things in the backlog. And one you'll notice, one has a green bar, which is a particular label. So I'm actually going to add a label to terms list as well. I'll just put write-ups for now. So now you see two particular labels that are associated with these cards. Now, I know what the idea of and reference of these particular labels mean. But when I talk about accessibility, I'm actually speaking from a perspective of, let's say, someone with color blindness. Maybe they won't have a quick reference to identify what these things mean when they're just looking at the view. So what Trello has done, I can literally go into my labels, my product setting, my board settings for that matter, and I can look at labels. Now, when you're in the label settings view, you'll see one thing that I like to call colorblind mode. That has everything to do with accessibility. Now, it's toggled off for right now, but if I toggle that on, you'll notice here on the sides of these labels, you'll start to see these patterns that show up here on the left-hand side. And those are for people who have color blindness. Maybe their association to what those colors look like may be different. So in terms of adding a different pattern or another visual cue to separate that from the original color association, they can identify it better. That's a really good example. So if I go back to my board settings and kind of close out of all of this and start to look, now I see the same board and the same logs, but with patterns on them. Now I have a visual representation of what those labels could mean to me just at a glance. So there you have it. That's a quick example of adding accessibility to your products and software that can help bridge the gap between those users that you are targeting and those users with slight disabilities. So I'll leave some links below so you can have a frame of reference. But if you have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comments below. I'll be sure to take a look at them and then we'll go tackle it as such. But that's all we have for today. Don't mind the noise. I'm sure it's my son running around here somewhere. But we'll see you in the next one. I hope that helps.